lose all I love. Seeing things that aren't. I have trouble seeing things that aren't. Now what's the meaning of money since credit's the root of evil? You think about it, it's funny. Godfather flow, if Michael Fredo was sunny. Monopoly and Lego, but we ain't playing, you dummy. Everybody is building, the construction costs high. Like a bitch, I just wanna fuck her alright. All high, all night, cause I suffered alright. Now I glide like this, on a shuffleboard, right? Yeah, I hustled all night, just to make a couple bucks. I ain't made I risk my life for nothing, alright? Now I'm puffing all night. I'ma spend a G on this tree and stay free from these suckers all night. Ghost. I got issues and I figure I should sort them out. I should sort them out. To lose all I love. I lose all I love. Seeing things that aren't. I have trouble seeing things that aren't. I've got issues and I figure I should sort them out. I seem to lose all I love. I have trouble seeing things that aren't. I have trouble seeing things that aren't.
So I have some information about how the mass deportation and these ICE raids and stuff have affected, Milwaukee, specifically Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So in Milwaukee, the immigrant community is experiencing heightened fear and anxiety due to intensified immigration enforcement under the Trump administration. This climate has led to significant disruptions in daily life, affecting employment, housing, and access to essential services. Fear-induced disruptions in daily life. Reports indicate that many immigrants are avoiding public spaces and staying home from work due to fears of immigration and customs enforcement. Community leaders have noted that even without confirmed raids, the mere threat has led to empty streets and closed businesses. The proposed So they have a proposal to build a facility here too. I'm just finding that out. So proposed ICE facility sparks community outrage. The proposal to relocate Milwaukee's ICE facility to a larger site on the city's northwest side has intensified fears within the immigrant community. Oh, I do remember this one. They wanted to put one out on the northwest side. This was some months ago already. Local officials and community leaders have expressed strong opposition, citing concerns over increased detainment operations and family separations. That's from Wisconsin Politics. The proposed facility, located at 11925 West Lake Park Drive, is expected to include modifications such as a sally port and a chain-link fence, consistent with its use as an ICE processing center. Wait, hold on. No, that's in a different... This must be a new location that they want to put it, because Lake Park Drive, that's not on the northwest side. Community response and legal challenges. So in response to these developments, local organizations like Voices de la Frontera have ramped up efforts to provide legal assistance and know your rights training. There has been a surge in demand for resources, including emergency toolkits and power of attorney forums to prepare families for potential detentions. And we read some of that stuff, too, on our podcast. There's cards that you can get, know all your rights and stuff like that. And, it's important to probably have that with you. You know what I mean? If you're at potential to have this happen to you. So I got some other information too that I'm going to read for y'all. So there's a widespread fear of workplace raids. So it says a recent Brightmind, survey revealed that 60% of workers are concerned about immigration raids at their workplaces. That's from Newsweek magazine. Industries such as construction, food services, and elder care, which heavily rely on immigrant labor, are experiencing worker shortages due to fears of ICE enforcement. This has led to business closures and economic strain in affected areas. In Denver, ICE raids have caused some migrant workers to stay home, leading to operational challenges for local businesses. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOE, is reportedly collecting federal data to identify and remove immigrants from housing, cause fear and potential displacement among immigrant populations. That's from the Washington Post. And I may have read some of this information yesterday, but that's okay because I just want to get it out there, you know what I mean? Some immigrants are choosing to leave the United States voluntarily due to the heightened enforcement climate, even in the absence of direct threats. While exact numbers are unavailable, this trend mirrors past periods of increased immigration enforcement. And that's from PBS. Fear of deportation has led some immigrant families to keep their children home from school as well. In a lot of areas, schools have reported decreased in attendance and increased anxiety among students. And that's from the Migration Policy Institute. The pervasive fear within immigration communities has also caused a concern, and communities have been linked to mental health issues, including anxiety and depression. In a tragic instance, an 11-year-old girl in Texas died by suicide amid rumors of impending ICE raids targeting her family. Okay, I read that already about what's going on in Wisconsin as well. So we're going to keep spreading some more information about that, you know what I mean? But I mean, you can't help but imagine and just realize, just think, you know, people that are like, especially on the South Side, you got people that are, you know, renting or whatever, apartment or whatever, or a house, a duplex, whatever. You know what I mean? Can you just imagine the fear? No matter how you personally feel about them being here or not, I'm just saying, just put yourself in their shoes just for a couple minutes and just picture, like, if you were in that situation, the anxiety, even if you were legal, the anxiety. But let's say you're someone, because I feel like the majority of people that are immigrants or whatever status or whatever, I believe the majority of them are in the process of getting their paperwork finalized or approved or whatever. Because like once you fill your paperwork out and do that, you got to wait for the process to be for everything to be approved or denied or whatever. Because it ain't like you're the only one waiting for your paperwork to get looked at and approved or unapproved or whatever. There's millions of other people that are waiting too. You know what I mean? So if you done filled all your paperwork out, you're working, you're doing everything that they say that you need to do while you're waiting for your paperwork to go through and get approved, right? You're doing all of that. And for them to come and snatch you up and say that you're illegal, that's bullshit. But just imagine just what your daily life is like. Okay, you get up in the morning, you probably don't even sleep well at night. Can you imagine? They probably got to feel how I felt back in the day when I was on the run. You know what I'm saying? I was on the run. There's been a couple of times I cut the bracelet off before. You know, I done ran off, you know, didn't go see my PO, and then, you know what I mean? Basically, you're on the run at that point if you don't report because they put a warrant out for your arrest. You know what I mean? So it's just like that feeling of just like being wanted, like they're looking for you. That's a crazy feeling. But like they have to be feeling what I felt because it's like, because even remember when I was telling y'all, for people that have been listening for a while, like when I went on the run, like it was crazy because like my PO hadn't come over there looking for me or anything. For like a few months, I was still going back and forth to work, coming home. I was still paying rent, all that shit. I was living life like nothing. You know what I mean? And then one day she finally came over there knocking on my door with, they're called the absconder unit. Like when they come looking for you and shit to take you to jail and stuff. Yeah, and they had knocked on the door. I remember I creeped over to my window. I was on the second floor. I cut the little screen, cut the screen out, opened that shit real quietly, lifted, you know, and then crawled out, scaled down, and went to work. But anyways, I like just imagine how they gotta feel, just like getting up in the morning, going to work, because you're worried like, are they ICE gonna come in here and raid this while I'm working, trying to provide for my family, do the stuff that they're telling me I need to do. They're telling you need to work, right? So you're doing that, but now you you're in fear of going to that job that they tell you need to do because ICE might come and take you away like you've done something wrong. You know what I mean? So just imagine that anxiety, like damn, going to work and then coming home, and then just like when you're just at home, you're just worried about, if you're going to get that knock on the door, boom, 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 and all that. That's crazy. Worrying if you're going to come home, your kids are home, you're going to worry if you're going to get intercepted on the way home from work. That's crazy. And see, and here's the crazy part. The majority of these people that they're rounding up, the migrants or whatever we're calling them, the majority of them, and like I said, keep in mind, the majority means at least 51%. So it can be on a lower scale, but the majority of people, like that they're sending out of here, like to the El Salvadorian prisons or wherever, right? They're sending them out. They're rounding them up. Most of them people, they're not rounding them up from the streets. I said most of them not. They're already locked up in our prisons here in Wisconsin, here in whatever state. And what they're doing, instead of letting them, because that's the thing, these people have been convicted of crimes already. Okay, let's say they came here legally, right? It could have been 10 years ago, right? And then boom, let's say they committed a crime, right? They get arrested, they go to jail, they get charged, they go to court, they get sentenced, they go to prison, they get probation, whatever happens with the result of their court case, right? And then if they go to prison, they're in prison doing their time. And then when they get out, they either get released to the streets or ICE comes and gets them. I know how that works because I told y'all, well, people may not, because there's always new listeners, I got to keep that in mind. But when I was at Fox Lake Correctional Institution here in Wisconsin, it's a medium joint. I was next door to a dude that was going through that. I don't know if he was Mexican or if he was Latino. He barely spoke any English, just, a handful of words. And his name was Daniel. Dude was cool as hell, too. But, because we always used to just wonder, like, damn, like, what did dude do to come to jail? Like, you know what I mean? But anyways, he had killed somebody and shit. And his time was getting close to being done or whatever. And I remember him going up to, like, the, administration building up there, in prison, like the main, we called it A building at Fox Lake, because that's, the A means administration building. That's where you go for all, like, the legal stuff up there, you know what I mean? If you got a lawyer visit, that's where you go for a visit. The church is up there, chapel, all that kind of stuff, school, stuff like that is all in that building, right? And he went up there a couple different times, because we would ask him, like, when he came back, because he would be gone for a while. And then we would come back, because we would just be speculating, because we were wondering in our minds, like, because we knew he wasn't from here. But, he had been living in America for some years, but then he committed a crime and went to prison here and all that. Just like U.S. American citizens do. When we commit crimes, we get arrested, we go to jail, we get sentenced to prison, whatever, all that, right? And you do your time and you get out. Well, that's what happens with them, too. Some of them get intercepted by ICE before they're about to get out. ICE will come get them. But a lot of them don't. They get released here, in the communities here, and they're on parole, just like I am. And they're going back and forth to see their parole agent and shit like that. Well, some of them are getting intercepted now. And I know that for a fact. I'm not going to get all in, but I know that's going on the South Side. But anyways, so just imagine that. But my point is, like, so a lot of the people that they're sending out of here, out the country, to these other places and other prisons, they're already doing time in our prisons here in the United States. They're just rounding them up and just sending them out, just transferring them. So it's not like they're on the streets rounding these people up out the cracks in the walls and shit and out the sewers. That's what they'll be having you believing, like they're just, like, finding people, like, all in the crevices and the cracks, like these criminals. The majority of them are already locked up in prison. They're doing time. They're being punished for the crime that they committed that you want to deport them for. They're being punished here in our prison. They're sitting in prison. They're not roaming around free. You know what I mean? And how much work is that? And then these Trump bitches, they try to make it seem like they're doing all this great work and they're doing all this. The majority of these people, they're already locked up. They're just finding out who is just paperwork and communication. They're just finding out who in these prisons, blah, blah, blah. They're just scanning around the country and just seeing who, and they're just picking people. And so what they're doing is like they're picking like the ones that got like real heinous crimes. Those are the ones that they're sending out. And then they're picking, other ones too that got other stuff, and they're sending them out. But they're already here in our prisons, so they're just transferring them. They're not. It ain't like they're going out and looking for these people on the street and they're finding them. Are some of the people on the street that they're arresting that they've probably been looking for, that they have never caught up with, and there's that going on too. But that's the smaller amount of it. You know what I mean? And like I said, and then they're taking people, they're disappearing people that are literally done got arrested here, like I said, went to prison, and they got released. And they're going to work, doing what they're supposed to be doing, on parole, going to see their PO and all that. And some of them are getting, when they go to see their PO, they're getting taken away by ICE. That's bullshit. Because it's like, well, damn, you released them from prison here. So how much of a danger are they? You released them from prison here. They did time. So they were punished already for the crime that they committed and that you're sending them out for. They were punished for that already. So in reality, some of them people are being punished 3 times. They're being punished for the crime they committed. They're being punished because they got to do extended supervision as well, because that's punishment too. And now they're being deported too. But you see what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. So don't be fooled by that. And I know what I'm talking about because I've lived in that world. I've been to prison. I know that's what's going on. I know that's where most of the people that they're sending out of here, they're already doing time. They're locked up. They're not a danger to the community. They're in prison. Go do your research. If you think I'm just bullshitting or making stuff up, you can go do your research. You can turn this podcast off right now and go do the research. Because that's what's irritating. People that tell you, I'm not speaking to anyone specific, I'm just saying in general, as if it's someone disagreeing with what I'm saying. They'll disagree with you, but then instead of going to look it up and seeing if what you're saying is true, because they can still not like it, but it's still at least, because that's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not ever going to get on here and just lie and make up shit. Like, I'm going to give you my opinion on certain stuff or whatever. We'll play clips and stuff like that. But when I'm talking about serious stuff, and like, I try to, for the most part, make sure that I'm, at least, retaining factual information. And we try to provide, okay, this is from New York Times, or this is from CNN, or blah, 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 whatever, you know what I mean? And then you can just feel how you feel about it. But that's what's going on. But they have you believe that they're on the streets just rounding all these people up, like they're literally going around and finding people. You know what I mean? And some of that's going on, I'm saying, but a lot of it, people are already locked up and they're incarcerated. So they're just transferring them and sending them out of here. Well, there's a lot of open beds now. And who do you think they're putting them in them? Our black asses. That's what I'm saying. That's why I refuse to fuck up. I refuse to do anything I ain't supposed to be doing. I got a year left, and I'm, you know what I mean? So I can be totally free. Because even though I'm doing good and everything and shit like that, I only feel about 80% free. You know what I mean? Until I discharge. You know what I mean? So, and I've come too far, you know what I mean, to do anything wrong. Fuck that. But yeah, that's crazy, you know what I mean? But I worry about, because I told my PO too, because we're supposed to be going to New York in a few weeks. And I told her, I was like, because I got to prove she gave me my travel permit and all that shit already. We're going to drive down there. I told her, last time I talked to her, I said, I may not go. So I just told her, I might, because I don't want to go down to New York and get what do you call it? stereotyped or profiled or whatever, think and then, you know what I'm saying? We got Wisconsin plates and all that, and they pull us over. I don't want to have to go through none of that. So, anyways, but I just wanted to shed some light, because, like, I know how that goes. There were a lot of other people that were going through that, too. There were a couple people, as a matter of fact, that when we were in prison, they ended up leaving before we did, right? Because it was their time to come up for, I think it was either like minimum or like just transfer. Because in prison, you see it's this thing is called program review committee every 6 months. I don't know, they maybe have changed it now or whatever. But basically, you go in front of these people every 6 months, and they kind of like tell you, you know, what you've been doing, like if is there any programming you need or whatever, because if it's somewhere else and they feel like you're ready to go, they can move you around and stuff like that. So I believe it was, I think dude was about to like either be released, or he was like, his time was getting low, so they wanted to send him to minimum. But I believe ICE ended up coming to get dude. I'm almost certain that's what happened, because I remember we were all talking about it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, because dude just ended up like not coming back one day. As a matter of fact, yeah, that is what happened. Dude's name was Eduardo. I remember that shit, because I remember he went to see them, because he was telling us about it a little bit. And I remember him going to see PRC, Program Review Committee, like I was just telling y'all. And he went up to the A building, and I remember him never coming back, because he was gone for a while. And then I remember, because they started packing up his cell. You know what I mean? The COs and stuff like that, they had the little plastic bags, and they were, like, you know, packing all his property up and stuff like that. And people were like asking, I didn't ask or nothing, but people were like, because people were like, they were like, oh, I wonder if they came and got dude and stuff. Yeah, I remember that now. Yep, that's what happened. It was so long ago, I was trying to, you know, piece everything together, but yep. And that was happening. Yeah, that was happening. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I'll never forget that now. Wow. Because I'm picturing them, they're packing all his property up right by his door, and then people are all like, what happened to dude? And they're like, oh, well, they came and got him or whatever. They didn't say that to me, but that's what the word was, so I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But yeah, so that's the scoop on that, y'all. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. The majority of the people, like I said, they're already locked up, and that's how they lie to you. And they'll be thinking that they're, you know, everyone that they're sending out of here, that they're finding them on the streets, and that they're running around like hide. You know what I mean? And it's not like that in most cases. All right, y'all. Let's get back to this episode, though.
Got your image
was telling y'all that a lot of the individuals that they're deporting out the country, a lot of them are already out on parole, for crimes committed here in the United States, whatever state they're in. You know what I mean? They served time, they got released, they're on parole, they're going to see a parole agent and all that stuff, right? They're out in the community they're living, right? So some of those people are being intercepted when they're going to just see their PO, just for their normal office visit. They're being intercepted and detained and sent, and sent out the country. So that's happening. That's bullshit. And then there's people that are currently in prison doing time for crimes committed in the United States, whatever state they're in. They're plucking them too and sending them out the country. That's what a lot of that is. So I got some information. So under current U.S. immigration enforcement policies, individuals of Latin American origin who are on state parole for crimes committed in the United States can be arrested at parole offices and subsequently deported, depending on their immigration status and prior legal history. So, immigrants under supervision, including those on parole, may be required to attend regular check-ins at ICE offices, even if they have been granted prosecutorial discretion, a form of relief where ICE opts not to pursue removal. See, and that's what I was telling y'all too. Remember when I was telling y'all, some of the people, like when they're in prison and then they were about to get released, their time was coming up to get out, some ICE was coming and intercepting some of them, and some of them they were just letting out on parole. You know what I mean? They were picking and choosing. But what they're doing now is it's like they're going back. So like I said, so just picture that. You have a guy that's out, or a woman that's out on parole, right? Let's say they got released from prison, let's say 5 years ago. They're out on parole, going to work, doing their stuff, they're staying out of trouble. Some people reoffend and fuck up, whatever, but I'm saying, this person, they're out, they're doing good, they've been out 5 years. And now, so they're going in to see their PO, they think they're just going in to see their PO, because the PO ain't going to tell them, hey, when you come in, ICE is going to take you away. They don't tell you. You're just going in for your regular scheduled office visit, and then boom, ICE is waiting behind the door there, and they're taking you away. So they're going back. You know what I mean? That ain't that. Do you guys agree with that? That's messed up. You're doing good. You're doing everything that they're telling you need to do. You're going to that job they tell you need to go to. And then, you know what I mean? And like I said, now you're nervous to go to that because ICE might come there. So it says, they said that's a form of relief where ICE opts not to pursue removal. This discretion can be revoked at any time. If an individual has a final order of removal, ICE can arrest and deport them immediately during these appointments. This risk is heightened for those with prior deportations or criminal convictions. Under the current administration, immigration enforcement has intensified, with ICE agents exercising broader discretion to detain individuals, including those with legal work permits and active parole status. For instance, in Arizona, a man with a legal work permit and active parole status was arrested by ICE despite complying with all legal requirements. And maybe we'll get that story on here. That's out of ABC 15 News in Arizona, or in Phoenix, Arizona, my bad. And then I'll just read this part. While ICE has the authority to detain and deport individuals with criminal convictions or prior removal orders, there are legal constraints. That's good. For example, in New York, courts have ruled it illegal for correctional facilities to hold individuals past their release date solely for ICE to take custody. That's a good thing, that at least there's some people fighting back against some of that stuff. Because why should you, because that's my thing, right? If that's why I didn't like when they were sending people out of state. Here in Wisconsin, like if you commit a crime here in Wisconsin, why should you have to worry about getting sent to Texas to do your time? because the prisons are overcrowded up here. That's BS. So in conclusion, individuals of Latin American origin on state parole in the United States can be arrested at parole offices and deported, particularly if they have prior removal orders or criminal convictions. Given these complexities and risks involved, it's crucial for affected individuals to consult with an immigration attorney to understand their rights and options. Yeah? So, just a little insight, so like that is taking place. So just imagine that if you were on parole, like obviously you never would want to be on parole, but just for a minute, just put yourself in someone in their shoes. Let's say you're on parole, right? You've been out 5 years. You're going to work. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. Not because they tell you to, because you want to, obviously, but you know what I mean? And then you just go to see your PO. It's your regular scheduled office visit, right? So let's say you just go in there, you get up in the morning, boom, your appointment's, let's say, at 9 in the morning. And then you go there, and you're thinking it's just a regular thing. You're going to go there, blah, 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 and then you're going to leave and go about your day. But what you get there, and then ICE is there, and they deport you. Aren't you going to be pissed? You're going to be like, man, dude, not only did you guys sentence me to prison for the crime that, whatever you committed, I did the time, you did the time, they released you out into the community, you're doing the parole, and then they want to come circle back around and take you out of here? That's crazy, ain't it? Come on, y'all, that's crazy. That's craziness. So, all right, let's get back to the episode, though.
Stairs, we need some more of the road. More papers, more blood, everything. Turn the bass down, turn the trouble up a little bit. D-block, my nigga. So, God, let me get my shit together. Pardon me if I curse, if I'm cursed, get my hearse. Let me get this thing reversed, because I've been on one lately. Gotta ask me if I hate me, I can't take me, I can't make me even do the shit I'm supposed to do. Poor communications with the people that I'm closest to. Homie just died, who'da knew me supposed to grow into? Perkin takes his pain to me. Shit, I hate complaining, but they see the sunshine, but they don't know this rain in me. Purple on some French shit. I ain't know, but I ain't vintage. Rather die before I'm sentenced. Nigga, fuck you and your mentions and your tweets. As long as I get mentioned on the street, spin being deep. Even when I'm by myself, I'm the realest one I know. Shit, I even try myself, and I'm feeling kinda low. So I'm getting high myself, and I'd rather share my joy than my pain. But they hand in hand. Never knew my granddads, never knew my nanas, man. How can I complain when my homie never knew his mom, knew his pops? So I light this weed, get some better bomb.
In my own room.
Okay, hold on.
Let me talk to you over here. I'll talk to you if you want to talk. If you want to talk to me.
Yeah, you can talk to me. I'm cool with you.
What's going on, sir?
Hey, come here.
Why are we getting called out here?
I'm waiting here for her. They gave her a hard issue about getting in a room. This is possibly my girlfriend.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to have here a good time.
So,
She said she was hungry.
Are you staying here or no?
Yeah, I paid to stay here. I paid out of my own pocket.
When did you pay to stay here?
This evening. But that's fine. If he wants to shoot me out, trust me.
Okay.
Holiday Inn will fucking get a sweet kiss in the ass.
Okay.
But when
This officer is going to say something here.
It sounds like you got a room that you're paying for upstairs.
Yes.
You're going to go up to your room. You don't cause any more issues. You're good to go.
That's fine. I agree with you.
If we have to come back here again, they're going to ask you to leave, and if you don't want to leave, then we can't take you to jail for criminal trespassing because they are trespassing.
I hope they have it on video. And when they stick it in their ass,
they can get our video surveillance right here.
But this little over here.
Okay, we're not doing that.
I'm just saying.
No, we're not doing that. You're not just saying. Okay, so at this point.
Well, technically, I could have brought a van over here.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. If I have to come back, you're going to jail. Is that fair?
That's right. I agree with you.
You got your room keys?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, we're saying no. I'm not. No, you're not just saying.
Okay. Well, this guy here.
Okay, we're also not doing that. I've already spoken to him. What's your first name?
Shut.
Is that CH?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about. Because when he gets twisted and shoved the out, he needs to leave. He needs to leave like a roach.
Okay.
Let's go. I'll give it. Well, you guys are gonna.
Are you good if you just stay down here?
Yeah. No. Get off. No.
Drunk white guy.
Okay.
Come on, my friend.
There's
There's
kids out there.
Can you put your key card in?
No. I won't do nothing. Get him in. No, you have friends here.
Would you listen?
There's 2 elevators.
That's the police she's talking to like that.
Key card to go up to the room.
Nope.
So you don't want to go to your room now?
You have your friend get up here.
There were kids. I told them not to
No,
come in.
there's 2 elevators. There's 2 elevators, ma'am.
Okay.
There's
Are you going to go out to the room or not?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's 2 elevators. 2 elevators.
Listen, you need to calm down.
No. I don't give a fuck. Fucking room.
All right, there we go.
There you go. I'm going to take an Uber.
There we go.
Don't get in my face.
I'm not getting your face, but I'm going to take Uber. I'm going to take Uber right now. Okay. So let's go back down.
Sir, we're already going up to your room.
We're going up to your room.
Yeah, and you can suck my cock. I mean, I don't get what the fuck. You guys got a warrant? You guys got a warrant to get in my room.
Listen.
You have a
Listen
warrant.
how this white man is talking to them.
No, I'm not going to listen to you. You got a warrant? You got a warrant?
We're not going.
Come on.
Warrant.
No, we're taking it to your room. Come on.
Nope.
All right, Bennett, if you don't want to go to your room.
Shoving me into a room that I don't
Do you want to
know.
go to your room, sir, or do you
It
want to
may
leave?
have cocaine in it.
I don't care.
Take his ass to jail.
Do you want to
I'm
go?
walking.
Fuck that, we're in Elgin. I have my stuff right here.
Let's just go to your room.
You ain't getting in my room. You got a warrant?
Sir,
You got a warrant. You have a
I
warrant.
don't want to go in.
You know, meet me at the door and you got to kiss my ass. Check this out. There you go.
All right.
Listen.
Pants up.
Put your pants back up.
There you go. That's what you want?
No, we want you
Oh,
to.
that's what you guys wanted to see. Is that illegal?
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
Pull your pants back up.
I ain't doing nothing. I ain't bothering nobody.
Well, you're being loud and obnoxious.
Can you just show us that your key card works still?
I don't have anything on me.
You got your room keys?
Yes, you took everything. Hey, you want to check me?
No.
There you go. Hey, she can check me. I ain't gonna give you guys any hard time.
Are you good to stay?
Yeah.
You want me to put my shirt down?
No, we're going to see if we can get the key card.
Well,
Just chill out, okay? Well,
oh, now I gotta chill out because now I gotta wait for a key card.
yeah.
Oh, but they have it, right? They have it at the hotel.
You know what? I don't work here, so just relax a
Well,
second.
neither do I.
Okay, so just wait a minute while we figure things out.
You know what
okay?
else?
No.
Well, it's my room, right? I paid on it, right?
He's kicking on the door on the hotel
I don't
door.
know if they're hotel for the night or if they don't want him here.
All right.
He's acting up now. So.
That's fine. I'm cool.
Well, you're not acting like that, okay?
What? I'm not happy with it.
No, I said you're not acting. You're out here yelling loud. You're cursing, pulling down your pants.
When did I start that? Is that under video surveillance?
Yeah, we do have body cameras.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
We do.
I hope you do.
Yeah, we do.
I hope you do. Check it.
Sounds like they're letting you stay in the room, so I'd be awful thankful.
I don't want you to stay in my room. I don't want you to stay in my room.
You're not even hearing what I'm saying.